Time for some Charlie boys? Yes, it is. White Castles are served.
I almost didn't throw the white flag. I was going to give you one more lap.
The 9 running on the tires. He'll slide up off on turn number 4, Jerry. You've got a new race leader, Matthew Loeb. Your race leader with 4 laps to go.
All right, who told you to tell that joke?
Well, season 12. It's time for the
Whoa,
dirty.
whoa.
Season
Who's
12.
the new guy?
Season 12.
Season 12. It's
Season 2.
episode 12. Sorry, I mean, I this has been like forever since I've been here. I forgot how it works.
Yeah.
It feels like 12 seasons sometimes.
Yeah, it does feel like 12 seasons.
Well,
God,
you know what
why
they
do-
say. All
they
good
told me
things must
cars-
come to an end.
All good
Yeah.
things.
Jerry's here.
Oh boy.
He's back.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome, Jerry. Glad
Yeah.
you could be here almost on time. Appreciate
Episode 12. Last episode we had was about 2 weeks ago.
Great.
August 11th.
Actually, great.
Today is the 24th of August, and we got a lot of
Yes.
it.
a
Is it the
lot-
24th already?
a
Holy
lot
cow.
of stuff going on.
And you know what we're going to start with today?
Special guests.
Sprint cars.
There you go. Not
Oh, yeah.
not only sprint cars.
RaceSaver.
Sprint
RaceSaver
cars.
sprint cars.
And the RaceSaver Super Nationals.
Yes. And
French. We're going to talk in
Miss-
Are we going to talk in French today?
Mr. Race Saver we have with us today. The man who we blame for everything.
It's
with
all
this.
his fault.
All his fault.
I thought that was Roger.
Oh, we just blame Roger for everything.
Welcome, French. Welcome, Roger. It is such a joy to have you guys on our podcast. It is awesome.
Well, to start with, but it might go to hell pretty soon. We'll see.
Jerry's here, so it already has.
I brought the hand basket.
We would
I've never heard of it being a joy.
That's just the word I just came to my mind is quickly. It's awesome to have both of you on our podcast. Let's talk sprint cars.
Yes.
I still want to race a RaceSaver sprint car once in my
There's
life.
got to be one out there for you.
Roger, can you dial him up?
Well, I suppose if Brett's wife ever lets him loose, we could probably get him in one here, but probably better not to start at the Nationals, though.
I told her, a week or so ago, Roger, that I was going to go over to Eagle and be the minivan hockey referee. Is that right?
Yeah, we used one of your vans for the referee van. We had it all painted up with the referee stripes, black and white. Looked pretty cool. And it ended up we had one conked out right away, one of the other teams, so he ended up playing on their team. And actually his team won.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if anybody ever asks what we do with the IMCA vehicles after we put 1 million miles on them,
They go to
They go to Eagle. Huh?
now you know.
French, how was your trip from Virginia to Eagle?
It was relatively tiring.
Do you have? I'm taking it you have a brand new 2024 rig that you pulled over there.
You bet your ass.
That's all BS.
What year truck was it? Do you have the blue one?
Yeah, no, I got the gray Ford, but I got a workshop in the back, so as long as I've got my tools, I'm okay.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, we got faith in you, French. If anybody can do it, it would be you.
Nah,
You know,
one cog in a wheel.
once again, I think we've all been in this industry for a long time at this table, and I can honestly, no bullshit, say that we have probably, I would say, the smartest person in this industry that I've ever come across in French with us here today. I mean, the things he's done in this industry, you don't hear about because French don't like to brag, but you could write a book about it. And probably people wouldn't believe it, but it's all true.
Yeah, either French or Karen, his wife, one or the other. Remember when we went to their house the first time and you were quizzing me about what we were going to eat when we got there?
Well, I was just worried what type of victuals. I mean, what type of animals.
On the ride, we were talking about, well, it's going to be stew. And he's like, well, what's in the stew for meat? I'm like, I don't know. It could be anything.
Mystery meat.
It doesn't matter. Look, there's only three things that matter: water, shelter, and food. Everything else doesn't matter.
Don't forget the fourth, dessert.
Dessert.
Gotta have dessert. So how you feeling, French? How's everything going? You ready for another national?
Yeah. I've got a project I've been doing some research on, and I won't bore you with it on the TV, but I will show it to you if you'll drag yourself down there.
Oh, I will be there. You can count on that.
It's pretty groundbreaking.
Oh, I can only imagine, French. You know what else is groundbreaking? The chicken place is open again.
Yes, I know. And by the way, that phone call you overheard last time on the way to the chicken place?
Well, I was going to bring that up, French, because the week after our Super Nationals, I don't even know the date, I'm going to be going out to Pennsylvania, and I was looking for a co-pilot. Any takers?
No. That's already been handled.
There was never a doubt in my mind that would get handled, French. Never a doubt.
The women got along fine.
That could be a whole show, French and his women. That could be a whole season, French and his women. I think he's got some fine advice for everybody out there when it comes to handling that.
No. Just a dumb old farmer I am.
Yeah, okay. So tell us about our little race coming up, Roger, French.
Well, this will be the 10th one here at Eagle. And we've got all kinds of new stuff going on.
Oh, God, that's scary.
Or making old stuff better, one or the other.
That is scary.
Yeah, just a couple days ago, I'm putting the Millen bar framework up and stuff. We got a portable tiki bar, basically, that we do at the Nationals, and I'm putting it up, and Racine rolls up in the gator, and she's like, you might want to hold on a minute. And I'm thinking in my head, oh, shit, this ain't good. About an hour later, a building rolls in on a trailer, and she drops, and they drop it off where the tiki bar is supposed to be. I'd tear it all back down, and this building rolls in. I open the overhead door, and I'm like, it's just going to take a lot of fucking extension cords here to make this work.
We got a winner. We got a winner.
She's like, well, you got a week. Can't you get it done? Like,
You got nothing else going on.
I suppose.
How
Tiki bar is important. We got to keep the customers happy.
Yeah.
You know?
How many hours is she going to help you put it together?
Well, that was 0 so far.
I pointed out to Karen that what Racine did was buy the building,
Yep.
an empty building, and Roger's got to make it go.
Yep.
Never a
it'll be
problem.
full finish tonight.
How are we doing on pre-entries?
I think we're right at 111.
Nice.
Wow. That's not a record, but I mean, it's pretty good.
Well, I mean,
It's a lot.
you know, last year we were right around that 100 mark, and I think you know, we get to that 111-ish or so. I think that would be the biggest sprint car race in the country, won't it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I don't think there's anything more than about 65 or 70 nowadays at the very most.
Yep. And you know, see, we have a defending champ coming back. Who won it last year? Oh, yeah. Is Druki going to make that long pull?
Yeah, I think he's going to make the 3 mile pull.
He's from across the street.
There's no way that's 3 miles, is it?
He's leading the
Might
national.
not
He's
be.
national point leader.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that he's leading the national points right now.
I've run into him a couple places.
I've run into him also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's been traveling a lot lately. I'm kind of impressed that he's that committed to this RaceSaver Points Championship. It's something that, you know, he's always talked about doing, but this this is the theme now that he's going to prove is if you go and run other races and you skip some in the middle of the year, you kind of end up in trouble on this deal. You got to win a championship somewhere.
Correct.
Yep.
You got to race weekly.
You do. Our weekly racing series is built around that, which is why the bonus points for the championship are so important. You got to win races. You know, you got to be fast, have consistent finishes up front, but you have to win a championship somewhere to be in the hunt. You will get jumped at the end if you can't win a championship, and you win, even if you maxed out your total national points. You're more than likely going to get beat by a guy who's got a championship and less wins if that's the case. But that's the way we like it. We want racers committed to championships and consistency and stuff like that when it comes to our weekly racing schedules. And we've talked about this a lot, and when it comes to sprint car racing, it's a little different for us compared to other divisions. I think the sprint car mentality, generally speaking, is a little different than some of our other divisions. But we still are able to apply a point system, I think, that works well for them and crowns a national champion. And, you know, we've had national championships from one from different states. And the RaceSaver division for us is just, it's crazy. You go back when we first formed this agreement, when I first met French, and Roger's involvement, and Jim and I sat down, and to me, if I went back to that meeting, it's crazy to me how big RaceSaver sprint cars are across the United States. I never, for an association that, you know, we had sprint cars many years ago, and we had a sprint car division prior to the RaceSaver agreement, but it was nothing like it is now. I think
we've got
not even close.
90 tracks, 20 states, something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, probably what, 800 members in that range? Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
for us, I mean, RaceSaver has just absolutely stamped sprint car racing for IMCA across the country. It's something that I'm extremely thankful for, from the standpoint of all kinds of reasons, including the relationships that we've made with obviously with you, French, and with Roger, and how strong they are when it comes to sprint car racing. There's just a lot of cool things that have come out of this agreement. I can only hope that RaceSaver is as proud of this partnership as we are in IMCA, because it's been a pretty damn cool ride for us, you know. And to say that IMCA sanctions one of the largest sprint car races in the United States, if not the largest sprint car race in the United States, is something that I would never have dreamed would happen when this agreement started.
Not to mention the largest sprint car sanctioning body in the country right now. You know, you got to look at, and French, I don't mean to be mean to you, but I think our philosophies, IMCA, RaceSaver, French, and Rogers, scarily, or whatever the word might be, matches. And there's probably nobody else in this country that has the same philosophy, the same roots, the same rules, you know, when it comes to not changing a lot, trying to keep things consistent, and focusing on basically affordability, trying to keep the sport economical to the best they can. And French, I mean, the rules that you wrote, how many years ago now? Has there been any changes? Yeah, 27 years ago. Is there? I don't think there's changed anything, have you? For the most part?
No.
Yeah.
If I had not met Roger and you all, it would only be about 600 cars. Roger and IMCA have made it possible for us to reach all across the country because the philosophies are so similar. And you can't change a bunch of rules and make rules for special people and have a successful series.
Correct.
Yeah, the parallels between your philosophy and it goes way back to Keith Kanak and the initial IMCA modified philosophy that we've carried for so many years here. The parallels are incredible. And I've said this from the onset. It's kind of scary how similar they are.
Yes, it is.
But it's like a match made in heaven, really, to be quite honest. Everything happens for a reason. And how this happened, and when we came to the agreement, when we did, the timing of it all, everything just lined up. And everything happens for a reason. And why RaceSaver is now a part of IMCA, it happened for a reason. And where we're at with this is just, it's incredible. I still want to race one. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I don't know if I would race it. I just want to go around a racetrack really fast, maybe with nobody there, so I don't embarrass myself. But
are you available next weekend?
We've had this conversation.
We could put you out there for some laps on whatever's left of the racetrack after 111 cars run around it for about 6 hours.
I am not going to embarrass myself in front of really good sprint car racers.
Well, they'd be gone.
No, they'd
They'll
stick
all
around.
be gone.
They'd stick around to laugh at me, is what they'd probably do. But no, RaceSaver's just so, it's such a good fit. It's awesome. It's such a pleasure to be a part of. But for those who are not necessarily, there's a lot of people listening to this podcast that are not sprint car people. So I don't know, French, if you want to, or Roger, doesn't matter. Tell us the difference between a RaceSaver and any other sprint car. What makes a RaceSaver, and then even maybe some of the similarities. And because I know that we've talked about this, but you have people that, they think a RaceSaver sprint car is different when in many aspects it's not. It's a sprint car.
No.
But in some aspects it's very different.
I went to visit J.V. Brotherton of Broderick, and if it had not been for J.V. Brotherton and Broderick, I couldn't have succeeded. Roger wouldn't have been in the picture. Roger and J.V. Brotherton have made this series what it is. But you can take any car into any sprint car in the country and a RaceSaver sprint car. The only difference is the engine and maybe not as many titanium parts. That's it. Same car. 480 horsepower versus whatever 800 you want to talk about in the 410. It's very similar. The only difference in the racing is with a RaceSaver sprint car, you don't twist the chassis up as bad, they'll last longer, you can drive them. You don't drive a 410 car, you aim it. Period. No, it's true. You watch the front wheels on a 410 car, they go like this, John, trying to get the car stable. Nah, you see a RaceSaver car, you drive them, you don't aim them. And usually with the 410s, when you don't aim them right, they don't do good. At the end of the year, you can race a RaceSaver sprint car. You could probably put a whole car together, used parts and stuff, $15,000. A junk motor will last 5 or 6 years. You can raise a sprint car for relatively little money. And a 410, I'm glad to see Bob Allen's grandkid won a big bunch of money because they need it. Yeah. You can't play in a 410s unless you have somebody with a pot of gold. Yep. If you're working as a mechanic in a muffler shop, you can race a RaceSaver sprint car. That's the difference.
Yep.
I was in Roger's transmission shop. I don't know how many years ago it was now, and there was 2 race cars in the shop, and there was an IMCA modified sitting there, and I think it was Chevy's IMCA modified. And then there was a RaceSaver Sprint Car sitting behind it, which I think it was Roger's son-in-law, I think. I can't remember who was driving the sprint car. And Roger said, I said, oh, that sprint car's awesome. Roger's like, well, you want to buy it? And I'm like, well, I don't know, how much does that cost? And he's like, well, you tell me. I'm like, I don't really know. He goes, well, how much does the modified cost? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Probably 30, 20. He's like, yeah, it was like 30. I think it was like 35,000. You said, and I was like, whoa. And he's like, well, how much you want for the sprint? How much is the sprint car? I was like, I don't know, 35, 40. He's like, no, I'll sell you the whole car ready to race for 15 grand. I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, that's when I figured out I could afford one. But
well, when you think about it, on a sprint car, half the stuff's missing. You have no battery, no wiring, no starter, no clutch, no transmission. I mean, all that crap is gone that can get super expensive. So you're running in, basically a 1,500-pound rocket ship with 450 horsepower. They're big old fat tires. These things are fast.
You're basically sitting on the engine, or at least really close to it in a sprint car.
Straddling the drive line.
Yep.
Which is
The drive
fascinating.
shaft sits there and spins between your legs.
Which is fascinating. But yeah, a sprint car is relatively, compared to other divisions in racing especially, is a relatively simple race car. That's why I look at it and I'm like, well, geez, what do you do to these things that make them so much different from whether it be a 305 RaceSaver engine powered vehicle versus a 410? I mean, what is, they all look the same to me, and I always ask myself, okay, so like how many changes can be made? Because in a modified, you look at the back of a car, even a late model, hell, even some of our sport mods, they got 50 bar holes back there, and it's like you can put bars, angles all over the place on some of these cars. In a sprint car, you just don't see that, and it's like, what did they change to make it different from track to track? Or is a guy like Druki have the same setup every track he goes to, and he just changes the gear, wing angle?
You have to drive them.
Yeah, I think I would bet money if we asked Druki how much he changes. I mean, I would say he does his normal maintenance, puts the same torsion bars, which are springs, back in.
Yep.
Or very similar numbers. I mean, basically the torsion bars, there's like 3 numbers for dirt track to pick from, 3 rates of spring. And of course, like everything else, the shop deal's a little crazy right now, but I mean, there's a million different shops, just like every other class, somewhat limited. I mean, you can't have remote reservoirs and really high dollar stuff, but these guys are running pretty much the same bars. And really, in my opinion, what I've come to realize is when you work on a sprint car, because I come from the late model mod world, so where you got 80 different holes and thousands of different combinations. In a sprint car, you move the wing back an inch and you're changing hundreds of pounds of pressure on the tires, or you move it side to side a bit, an inch, and change hundreds of pounds of pressure on the tires. I mean, you can move the wing and change stagger and make 99% of the changes you need to make on a sprint car.
So the number one thing on a sprint car, that's the number one important thing on a sprint car to make the car faster in a circle, is
from what I
stagger
see,
or wing?
What do you think, French? Stagger or wing make the biggest change?
Well, the wing will make a big difference, but tire pressure and stagger will fix, and a cross weight. How much cross weight you have, how much stagger, and how much tire pressure. The wing is only going to have a sweet spot. You got to guess it, because we don't have adjustable wing when you're moving, because that'll get you out of the ballpark. If you guess right on the wing, it'll go. But you still got to drive the damn thing. The biggest thing that makes a winner is he's a better driver.
That's the way it should
Money
be.
doesn't buy you a win. Daddy can have all the money in the world, and the kid is a jerk, the car won't win.
There are some of those in racing, I believe. French, speaking of racing, how's your season going this year?
Me race? No, not no more. I go to the track with a combination. I want to try something new, whatever stupid thing it is, like I've done for 30 years or 40. I start dead last, and I used to mow through them. Now I just am happy and content to stay in the back. When it comes time to be lapped, I'm out of the way. I'm happy.
But you're having fun, though, right?
No, I'm learning.
Well, once again, I we can't thank you enough, French, Roger, for what you've brought to IMCA, like Brett said. I mean, probably all of our wildest imagination when we started this deal, to get where we got now is just taking a total team effort. Roger with the rules, French, with the rules, the foundation, and basically, getting a mindset in the RaceSaver organization that it truly needs to be successful. And that was built in there by French. And
Roger is the hardest working man I've ever seen. And the amount of success he has is directly related to his commitment and his hard work.
Well, anybody,
and as far as being a promoter in a golf cart with a fancy shirt, that ain't Roger and it ain't me.
Anybody who's been to Eagle Raceway for either the Nationals or a weekly show knows how hard Roger works. I mean, it's crazy. People say, what's it take to be successful as a promoter? See Roger Hadan. I mean, to be very honest, the work effort and the stupid shit that you come up with all factors in to having probably the most successful weekly track in the country right now.
That's probably the exact right wording. Stupid shit.
But it's a total.
I still remember the fire hose ride.
We talked about that in a podcast.
That's
I think. Yeah, if Roger asks you to sit on a fire hose, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Absolutely not.
Well.
Oh, well. But, Eagle, in general, Eagles hits all the marks when it comes to an awesome facility. It's laid out perfect, in my opinion. It's got the
hillside.
The hillside. It's got a great viewing area from all throughout the pits. Everything's high. You can see down into the racetrack. It's got the grandstands, the huge grandstands.
The walkway up there.
Yeah, it's got I don't know what you can call it, where all the concessions and concourse. That's the word I was looking for. It is. It's really laid out pretty damn cool. If you're wanting to get food or beer or whatever, you don't miss any races. Nope. I mean, there's a reason why you get the crowds you do over there, and it's not just the facility. It's the cool things that Roger does, and again, back to RaceSaver being a part of that. Having the RaceSaver Nationals there. Again, everything happens for a reason. It's a perfect facility for RaceSaver Sprint Car racing. It's one of our top-notch facilities in the country when it comes to IMCA sanctioned events in general, and especially so with sprint cars. Eagle has a reputation that everybody's well aware of. So if you want to go see awesome RaceSaver Sprint Car racing next weekend, it would be the time to do it.
Absolutely.
During the RaceSaver Nationals.
Absolutely.
We'll have 100. We usually get right around 100 plus or so for the Nationals. So it sounds like that's going to be where we're at this year again too as well. And
the Nationals are going to be live.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you can't make it, you could always tune into IMCA TV.
Yep, we're streaming,
and watch it.
We're streaming the RaceSaver Nationals. We did last year as well. So it's going to be a good race. Do we have any? Is Druki going to be able to repeat? He's leading the national points.
Roger,
who's the guy to beat?
He would be the guy to beat.
Appears to be the guy to beat. But again,
yeah, I'm almost thinking Druki's got one of the best shots. Bubak's been pretty hard to beat. If he's not up front, he's very close generally.
Yep.
I think he's bringing his own car this year, I believe. So that'll be a little different. He's not driving for anybody. I don't know. I still get a feeling one of these days, Trevor Service might win this thing out of Minnesota. That kid's been doing pretty good. He's a lot of fun to hang around with at the Nationals to start with, and he has a great time here. But man, when he's racing, he's on it.
Yeah,
It's all about racing.
that's a name that's at the top of our standings too every year as well. You know.
I think we've got some young ladies that will be there racing besides your regular ones, and that have a little bit of a pedigree, let's say.
They have a very known mentor.
Yeah, it sounds like Donnie Schott's nieces will be there here, so both of them sound like they're coming. And you know, Donnie won't be here. I think he's racing in California, but I think it's his sister. I don't know if that's bringing the daughters, and they're going to give it a shot here once.
And you know, so speaking of
The Eisencheck twins.
Yep. Speaking of shots, this
You gonna
Saturday
have
night,
some?
this upcoming Saturday, they've put
Like 2
together a
days.
memorial race for Danny Shots, Donnie's dad, up
Yep.
at Red River Valley Speedway in Fargo. And what's it paying like? Oh shoot, I just had it pulled up.
Today's like the 24th, so it'd be like the 26th, Saturday the 26th,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
It's like 15-15, I think.
Yeah, 15 and 215 to start, I believe. And it's going to be, the Outlaws are up there, you know, that same night. So that's going to be a hell of a show. You know, Jake and Nick, they do a great job. It reminds me a lot of Eagle. You know, they'll get 100+ cars, you know, and at 9:30 you're on your way home. There's just no screwing around, no messing around. They run a race program, and they get you out of there. And that's obviously one of Roger's big deal is the you know, start at 6:30 or 6:20, whatever comes first. And at about 8:45, 9:45, if there's a race on the track, you don't want to be up in the tower with Roger.
Yeah,
It
pull
gets
that
ugly.
junk to the infield. It's already wrecked.
Yeah, again, it's cool to see RaceSaver, IMCA RaceSaver sanctioned events at facilities like Red River in Fargo, which has a history of sprint car racing at it. Then you've got facilities like Huset's and in Jackson and Eagle and in the Midwest that have pretty big followings from a sprint car reputation, and you know, we're a part of that with RaceSaver, and we would never be a part of that without RaceSaver. You know, it's pretty damn cool. And then you get out into the east in Pennsylvania and all the facilities out there.
Port Royal,
All the
Selinsgrove.
Grove.
all the facilities out there. I mean, it's pretty cool to see RaceSaver at all of those facilities. If it's a sprint car, you know, RaceSaver is pretty much touching about every facility in the country anymore.
Absolutely.
It's pretty damn cool to be a part of. And again, it all gets back to you, French. You can give credit to other people all you want, but it still gets back to French's vision. French is him sticking to his guns, his personality, his integrity, his stubbornness, however you want to put it, French. You know, you're very unique in that standpoint, and it takes guys like you in racing to create these situations. They don't just happen.
No.
You have to be a horse's ass to make the proper impression.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because in this industry, you're right. You have to have. There's times where people are going to think you're an asshole, when in reality, you're really not an asshole, French. You're a pretty cool guy, and you are extremely intelligent, and a lot of people have a great deal of respect for you. One of the things that, for me, that kind of opened my eyes when it come to RaceSaver is when you were at PRI, and you haven't been there a couple years with us at the booth. But when we put French in our booth at PRI, it was like a celebrity was in there signing autographs. And we had people that would never in a million years stop and talk modified racing with IMCA.
There's a line out there.
But French has got a line of people that want to actually meet him and say hi. And everybody knows who French Grimes is in sprint car racing. And in all our other divisions, French, there's not really a person like that. There really isn't. You know, you are incredibly unique when it comes to sprint car racing. You have stamped a huge imprint on this division in all kinds of ways. Back from, you know, I know you're into the injector stuff, and you've got
magnetos.
I mean, you practically invented the sprint car, French. You know, and it's just so cool to be a part of it.
Well,
it's so cool to have you a part of this.
It's
association.
mighty nice, but the list of people who hate me and hate Roger is pretty long.
They're jealous.
Yep. See, you know,
Hey,
that's
speaking of that, I got a little teaser, I guess we can call it. So I've been the devil for a while, saying that the sprint car world should end up being 410s and RaceSaver. There's two groups of 410s going to be put together this year. So the world is getting closer to 410 and RaceSaver for sprint cars.
yep.
And do what? So I don't want to say anything. I don't want to get myself in trouble. But so like no 360s then. So it would just be just those two groups, and the 360 would then, because obviously the 360 was I guess designed as an affordable option for the 410 originally.
Yeah, that's gone.
Nobody seems to think that's the case. You know, so the 360 would get squeezed out, in your opinion.
I think so.
I think a lot
it's
of
been
people's-
happening for a while.
A lot of people's opinion, and you know, we talked about other tracks. I know the Jackson Nationals were last week. They had 41 World of Outlaw cars at Jackson for the Nationals and 42 IMCA RaceSaver sprint cars. Huset's, you know, the night I was up there a couple, 3 weeks
You
ago,
want to know about what it means to win and what it means to not?
you know,
But everybody gets paid.
2-3 weeks ago, there was 29 RaceSavers for a weekly show up at Huset's, and it's just, like I said, it's just crazy. And that's what you talk to a lot of people in sprint car racing. They might not want to admit it, but I think that what Roger said about, you know, 3 RaceSavers and 410s is on a lot of people's mind right now.
I think sprint cars are like every other division in dirt track racing, and especially so in IMCA. You know, that racers migrate to what they can afford. You know, that's the bottom line. You know, we see it all the time in all kinds of divisions. Guys that jump from sport mods to mods, and then they literally go back to sport mods because they can't afford it. Some guys don't. But you see a lot of that. A lot of people migrate just to what they can afford, and they want to enjoy what they're doing. They don't want to go bankrupt doing it. They don't have to have a second mortgage on their house or their engine. Some of the things that you hear about or see in some of these divisions that have no cost control. And, you know, at the end of the day, RaceSaver, again, like we started this podcast, it fits right into the philosophy we have here. You know, I mean, nothing is perfect, but RaceSaver is pretty damn close when it comes to affordable sprint car racing, and there's a reason why. We're seeing 29 cars at some of these weekly shows and 40 plus at some of these specials. When it comes to RaceSaver car counts, you know, and they're fun to watch. They're just it's a sprint car. I mean, they put on great races. Like French said, they steer them.
Yeah, they drive them. You have to drive.
They drive them.
Well, Roger, we probably kept you on a little bit longer than we said we would, but it's hard not to when you got French with you and obviously you and everything you guys have done for this industry. But I think you got to go weed whack, Roger.
Yeah, I'm going to go weed whack for a while and
the life
spray
of a
some
promoter.
weed fence line. And I'm going to put French on my power washer and make him make his old ass wash my Bobcat for me. Try to figure out where the hydraulic leak is.
That is my strength, is washing out dirty machines. I can do that.
Well, we really appreciate you guys taking the time and being part of this. And, you know, once again, the Nationals starting. Roger, give us the dates real quick.
Oh, yeah, right.
A week from today.
They are the 31st to the 3rd.
Yeah.
That first day, we'll do the pre-tech like you always do, which, again, that's pretty unique to them.
Wednesday, actually, on the 30th, we do a little short period of pre-tech. If a guy wants to, show up early, and then on Thursdays really when all hell breaks loose, and the guys in my shop here that are doing the pre-tech, everybody will roll through and they'll get pre-tech for the races, and it's usually pretty thorough. There's a bunch of guys in here working their tails off and making sure these cars are legal. And this year we actually went one step further, and we have a required fuel this year. So VP, Lighting Motorsports, and RaceSaver all went together, and we're putting 40 gallons of free fuel to every participant here this year.
Well, once again, that's a hell of an event. If you can't get there, tune in, IMCA TV. And
But nothing beats being there in person.
Nothing beats being there.
I have been to the RaceSaver Nationals a couple
Just
times.
be prepared when the feature rolls out.
The timing isn't best, but
For
yeah,
the cannon or the whatever you put.
Dragon's
in that fire.
breath.
Yeah.
Roger making bombs or whatever it is. Fireworks. We just call them fireworks.
And this upcoming Saturday, that's the 26th, the Danny Schatz Memorial up at Red River, and the Schatz family has really got behind this whole RaceSaver program, and it's great to see somebody like that getting in there, and I know Danny wanted to see the girls racing, and he got to, and I think even one of them picked up win last year, and once again, this is a great event that they're starting, and it'll be a great show up there in Fargo, Red River Valley Speedway.
Again, thank you both for taking the time. I know you guys are both busy, and we'll let you go, but try to stay cool. It's supposed to be like 105 degrees here today or something like that. So
that's only about 10 degrees less than the last 4 days. So it'll be awesome.
And French will go eat some chicken here one of these afternoons.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Hey,
You too.
See ya.
Yeah, it's kind of, again, it's crazy. Everything happens for a reason. And why RaceSaver and somehow French through Roger connected with IMCA many years ago. It seems like it was.
I think it was
match made in heaven.
Start of 15, the end of 14. I just started here full time, and that was when
Yep.
that happened.
I mean, we were looking for something to try to get a little life in the sprint car program, and working with Roger, and we looked at a number of options, and one day he called. He goes, "Look at this stuff." He goes, "We ought to look at this." It was the RaceSaver package, and next thing you know, we're here in 2023 having a national event with 111 cars and over 800
It's interesting.
members.
How many tracks do you think you had back in 2014?
Oh God, two.
2, 3, yeah.
Too. I think we had 1 year where we had 17 sprint car drivers in our membership.
Yeah.
True story. Yeah. We had talked for a couple years about not even having sprint cars in IMCA. And Bob and Susan Allen have been with us. Bob's been our sprint car director from as long as I've been here, since the mid-90s. We had a couple of years where it's like, what are we going to do? For us, a 410 doesn't fit well, and we had a version of the 360 sprint car rules, a carbureted version, a claim engine, and
claim the heads. And
we had taken a variety of swings at sprint car racing when it comes to trying to come up with something that made sense, but the RaceSaver deal is like, holy shit, look at this, it's perfect.
No brainer.
And a lot of people, again, who race in other divisions and don't maybe see RaceSaver sprint cars much at their local track, the RaceSaver division, the engine is very controlled. It's a spec engine, essentially, with a Brodick spec head like Roger
sealed
and French talked about. Yeah, it's a sealed engine, much like we do with crate engines. And we get a lot of – it's interesting to me because we get a lot of, from certain groups of people at least, a lot of scrutiny, a lot of bad publicity on the sealed aspects of the crate engine and how we enforce it. But if you look at that program, it is very similar.
Correct.
To the RaceSaver, how they seal their engines. They actually certify their engines. They give you a hard card that goes with the engine. It's almost like an engine certification. So in order to race an IMCA RaceSaver, you have to have an engine that's built by an approved builder.
Yep. And
using
sealed.
approved products. It has to be pre-inspected. They seal it.
I
So
mean,
it's pretty. It's a very, very tightly
the
controlled
crankshafts
environment.
are weighed. I mean,
Yeah,
every part of it is
Extremely controlled environment,
Yep.
and it's wildly popular. It's crazy, how many of the RaceSaver sprint cars are out there in this division. It's nuts.
Well, we had two sanctioned tracks, or 2 tracks held sanctioned sprint car events in 2010.
Yeah.
The year prior to RaceSaver was 2014. We had 6 tracks host sanctioned events.
Yep.
First year with RaceSaver, 67 tracks.
Yep.
And we've held races at nearly 100 racetracks for each of the last 3 years, just in the sprint car, and that 20 states.
Yep.
And most of those 100 racetracks, a good portion of those 100 racetracks would never have an IMCA sanctioned
Right.
event in any other division, or don't have.
marquee
So,
tracks too.
yeah, it puts us at facilities, that are very, very historical across the sprint car land. That's pretty cool to be a part of. So again, you take all these things, and it just adds up to a pretty cool set of circumstances, and it kind of creates the landscape, so to speak, or the pool of cars for the RaceSaver Nationals at Eagle to get the car count that they do, to get the members that they do from different states.
Besides the
pretty cool.
RaceSaver Nationals and the Shots Memorial, is there any other big races coming up that anybody's aware of?
Nothing I can think
For
of.
sprint cars or in general?
In general, I don't know if we got anything.
My season's
going.
about over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Points are
Points
wrapping
are over in
up.
a couple.
You
I
know
don't
what would be neat if we could put a race on around Labor Day, and maybe get 40, 50 cars, pay $25,000 a win or something like that.
So there's something else going on besides school starting across the United
Yeah,
States
because
right
school
now.
started.
College football,
Yeah.
College football started.
NFL.
Yeah. NFL preseason's happening.
My daughter started 7th grade yesterday.
Yes.
That was a big day. She got up at 4:45 in the morning.
Times you get up.
Why?
That's what I said. to
Because
my
she
wife.
was nervous and
4:45.
excited. Well, she was
Yes.
excited.
Well, I saw her last
Wow.
night here. I said, how was school? And she just rolled her eyes and didn't want to talk to me.
Exactly.
So I don't know if school went bad or she just didn't want to talk.
I got home last night at 7, asked her how it went, and she said, Dad, I'm really tired. I'm like, yeah, that's because you got up at 4:45 in the morning. She
to
was
go to school for half
She
a
went to
day.
bed at like 7:15 last night. Yeah, to go to school for half a day.
Because it
But
was
she's in
hot.
7th grade. You're a middle schooler. Whew, you remember what middle school was like?
I think middle school. when
Middle
we
school
were in
can be
middle school
hell.
Was nothing like it is now, though.
It can be hell. But anyhow. Yeah,
That's
so
the worst
I mean, when
years.
Jim went to middle school, it was uphills both ways.
They didn't have
Yes,
middle
no.
school.
They didn't have
It
middle
wasn't,
school.
It wasn't invented then.
Jim didn't make it to middle school.
it's kind of cool because, school starts and everybody gets back into with kids, gets into school mode, and then we throw Super Nationals, starting obviously
When is that?
next weekend.
Why
Well,
do
the
they
prelude
have to have it in September? The kids
next
go back
weekend.
to school. Why can't it be in the middle of summer?
Yeah, we talked about that
Are we
years
gonna
and years
have
and years
to-
ago, why the Super Nationals is when it is, but yeah,
Are we gonna have to run a B this year?
we
Well-
probably will.
There might be. We're probably going to have to run 2.
2 Bs.
Do you know how many we're up to?
Yeah, let's talk
Any
Super
guesses?
Nationals for a little bit.
I'm going to go
Guesses
with.
on car count? I know you looked, so unless you
No,
can
I
do
did
math.
not look.
You
I
looked
mean,
at the
I looked at the
individual
2 divisions.
I'm gonna go
We have-
1,400.
We have set.
Let me say something quick before you start talking stats. If you're a Super Nationals, an IMCA Super Nationals fan, or a competitor, or have interest in it, whatever the hell it may be, you watch the stream. I would recommend that you ask to be on the IMCA Super Nationals Facebook group. We've got about 20,000 people in that group right now. It's a private group. It's not
No
public.
wonder my
You have to
messenger
be
is
approved.
so overloaded.
It's weird.
You can get on there and watch Ryan yell at people for asking about pre-entry lists.
You have to be.
We're not giving you one.
You have to be. It's private group. It's private for a reason.
don't
Because we don't need the trolls who don't like IMCA or don't
Really?
like Boone or don't
Trolls?
like
Trolls on
life in
Facebook?
general. Yeah, trolling the event and throwing shit on there that
Made up ladies.
So
asking for
we
money?
use that Facebook region wide. Again, if you're interested in Super Nationals, ask to be in the group, and we try to approve. There's some questions you have to answer. Just answer the security questions, and we'll get you in the group. But what we post, our apparel, we post when the event gets closer. As we actually post event updates, things that are going at the event, gate times. if anything changes in the format. We try to throw that stuff
Pre-entry list.
on. Yeah, we try to throw that
weather
stuff
gets
We only get asked
on
that
that
3
page.
times a day.
Jerry,
Again, it's private.
Get too hot.
So if you're coming to Super Nationals, you've never been there before, again, that group is a good place for you to
why is
be
the question I have.
And if you're
Why what?
Why haven't you ever been there before?
Because some people just can't get there all the time, and it's now maybe they're 18 now.
what
and
are they
can
talking
finally
about,
go.
Brett? What are they bickering about?
I mean, there's other generations that have never been there before. This could
never
be their
been
first
where?
time to the Super Nationals.
Oh,
I mean, just because you're 965 and have been to every one,
We do have some people that are like that.
I know.
That have been to like almost all of them. And then you have people that are coming for the first time. Then you have people that are gone for haven't been there for 10 years
Then
and
they
they come
come
back.
because they
People have
missed it.
kids, their kids get
Life gets in the way.
happens.
Yeah.
but if you do get in the Super Nationals group on Facebook and somebody asks a question that you may already know the answer to, or you may not understand why they're asking, just be nice to them. Everybody
Yeah,
has
I think
different
a lot of
questions.
repetitive-
One of those.
There's a lot of name calling at all social media pages, but just be nice to people.
We have a group of us that monitor that page, and we approve the posts. And some of the stuff I'll be like, that's already been asked, and I'll decline it being posted. But I feel bad if you do that because the person usually they don't know.
And sometimes
you
those
send out
questions don't pop up on the page, and
Right.
it's hard to find some of that
Facebook's
stuff.
random sometimes.
That's one of the things I like about the page is that if people ask a question, there's always somebody else that, generally
answer it.
speaking, knows what the answer is besides me or Ryan or some of the other people who are moderators on it. But
One of the things I see pop up is people asking if there's going to be any Van Sickle T-shirts available this year.
are there?
I've not seen that at all.
And we didn't approve that
Numerous
question.
people have asked that.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And
No-
that's why I
nobody's
think
asked, Jerry.
we need to call Jason and see if he's going to have it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got some old racing T-shirts.
A lot of people ask, are we going to have access to get the good Van Sickle T-shirts?
Yeah.
That would be Jason.
The one they can tolerate.
Oh my God!
Guys,
coming
gone
in.
for 2 episodes and
That's what you
right
get.
in the ding
What you get for
ding.
being
That's
late,
what you
Jerry.
get for being late.
That's right.
Jerry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which reminds me,
Come on, call. Yeah, go ahead.
you and Wade were at the state fair last Sunday.
Are we really going to open
Oh
this?
boy!
wound?
Well, here first of all,
I got up at 6:30 in the morning to drive to that damn state fair because I needed to buy something that was there on discount. And so I'm like, you know what? I'll go to state fair. Otherwise, I have no interest in the state fair. I don't want to eat.
Okay.
I don't want to
no.
eat
Oh, you didn't go to the
deep
races?
fried Twinkies and some of this
had
other
to
shit.
go there.
We had a Dairy Brothers race.
Yeah, we used to.
Yeah, we used to.
That took disappoint. Actually,
Now, time
I
out.
spoke to Brad Deary just a couple of days ago, and he brought up the state fair. He goes, "Are they ever going to put the track back in there?" I'm like, Brad, I can't answer that. It doesn't look that positive. He goes, "We used to have such a good time being a part of the state fair with the Deary brothers."
Well,
that
I could
event."
tell
was a
you.
good time.
I could
Yeah.
tell you if they put a racetrack back in at the state fairgrounds, the logistics of a state fair race are slim to absolutely
I
none.
understand. I've been to
because
enough
of
of
the logistics and the concerts. So
Do they still have the little tunnel that goes underneath?
no,
over there?
that went away when they redid the.
Racetracks
didn't know if that was
can
true.
create unfavorable circumstances for surrounding things like the midway and just with the dust and
Well, if you look at it, I
they
mean,
used to put tarps up on 1 and 2 at the state fairgrounds during the race.
back in the 50s and 60s, they launched a couple sprint cars in the
Right,
midway
into the
that
mid-
caused
there's-
fatalities.
yeah, there's stories.
We launched one at
I was there that night.
was it Jerry Crabb?
Jerry Crabb launched out
Into
of
the
the
parking lot.
Yeah, during
And went right down an aisle and didn't even hit any cars.
Oh no,
Right.
it landed in a car.
And
No, it didn't.
the state
when
patrol was there.
Lottie was going to get arrested by the state
Yeah.
patrol. We had to plead, come on, just let
The
him
state
go.
patrol was there. It was a crime.
yeah.
It was a crime scene, or not a crime scene, but an accident scene. They wanted to classify it as an accident scene because the sprint car went out into the parking
yeah.
lot, and Lottie's like, "Nope,
No, but
not gonna happen.
No,
Hook that thing up." They just like hooked up with a wrecker and dragged it back into the racetrack.
Yeah. So there's
Nobody
a lot
got hurt in
yeah,
that
No.
in the making of that
no.
incident. Racer or fans or patrol officers.
So meanwhile,
or
back to
even
the
Lottie.
state fair incident that you're so
Jerry.
meanly like, you can't believe nobody called us.
No, you didn't.
You were gone. You were gone by the time we did that.
I wasn't
I had to
gone. I was home
announce-
all day
was
by
hot as
myself.
But I
Hell,
heard
that
the
day.
entire night at Boone, I'm just going to stay in the house because it's going to be so hot.
I didn't realize Wade was going to be at the fair. I'd have gone to see him.
Well,
Yeah, I walked in at 8:30. The vending wasn't even open yet, most of it. The gates were open. They open at 8.
Yep.
Nothing else opens at 9. Everything opens at 9. There's lines to get into all the air conditioning buildings. And then when it rolled around 9, I went into where the cookies are at and that stuff, that main building.
Varied Industries.
The Boone Chamber of Commerce, the Varied Industry building. Boone Chamber of Commerce is in there. And, I talked to Chris with the Boone Chamber and about Super Nationals and things like that. And
Did you get your bucket of cookies?
I bought a bucket of cookies. I almost brought them as sitting on my counter at home still. I can't eat a whole bucket of cookies. I'm like,
So that's why you bring them here. That's Snackles, remember? That's what I'm here for.
Here's what happens every time I buy a bucket of cookies.
Time. So, first of all, there's a podcast that I don't get, and a prick brings a bucket of cookies then. And then there's a podcast I get invited to, and somebody has a
You're
bucket
late.
of cookies
We ate the cookies
and doesn't bring
before
the
you-
cookies.
You need to calm down. Just
They
shut
pile
up.
the bucket of
You've had
cookies.
enough sugar,
The cookies
Jerry,
are so
obviously.
high on the bucket, you can't put the lid on
Right,
it,
you have to
which
eat
pisses
down.
me
You
off.
have to eat down to it.
How in the world can I eat 12 cookies?
Really?
Oh, really?
I can't.
How
Not
in
when
the
it's
world can
100
I
degrees
stop
outside.
at 12?
Well,
o'clock?
first
No
of all,
way.
if you would have let me know you were there at the state fair, I would have helped you eat those 12 cookies.
So I look
Do you know where
like...
Brett lives? We'll go over after
Okay.
the podcast.
I've done this a couple times now, and I'll just be like, I can't eat all these cookies. So I walk out of the Varied Industry building, that's what it's called, Varied Industry building, and I'll be like, you want a cookie? You want a cookie? And I feel, my wife's like, quit doing that. And I'm like, why? She goes, they're going to think you're a creeper or something. And I'm like, well, I don't want to. I feel like, I feel like, here, little kid, you want a cookie? I feel like
Now, if you got
it
in
should
a
be a
white
crime
van,
taking those cookies and throwing them in the trash can so you can put the lid on it.
Yeah, it should be a crime. It's a waste of money.
But I got cookies, and then I walked over to What You Smoking, which I am a fan of because they're in Luther, close to Boone Speedway.
I had the last
that-
day of the fair. I had the Twinkie.
That Twinkie thing was pretty good. It was like a stuffed jalapeno cream cheese with wrapped
all kind of good
in
stuff.
bacon. It was very good. They sell those. Supposedly, they're going to sell those in Luther too because we asked.
Yep.
Because we go over during Super Nationals. We go over to Luther. We try to eat different places besides the track food. I think lots of people eat track food and not eat track food. I think everybody's jumping around at Super Nationals if you're there for a long time. But Luther has a fantastic barbecue.
Shenanigans.
What You Smoking is awesome.
Oh, I went by there the other day. I had never been by there when they were so busy. When
It's
I met
literally
you.
like
It's
15
packed.
feet from the interstate.
It's packed.
Yeah, it's always packed.
Yeah.
So
They have a great following. It's
three
great.
hours
food.
ago on this podcast, we
no
were going to
shit.
learn how many cars were pre-entered for the Super Nationals.
Yes.
No, you said you
We're
were going
hour
to
in.
publish the list.
How long have we been going for, Nate?
Just right at an hour.
I don't know.
Oh, we have 4 minutes to talk about Super
So
Nationals.
do you know how many cars there are?
Yeah.
24 minutes.
936 so far. But the most
936.
recent modified registration that we had, a lot of people been asking,
Ricky Thornton Jr.
Gary Hall.
Gary Hall.
Larry has not registered
thing.
yet, but
Same
Gary
thing.
Hall has.
Same
Gary
thing.
Hall.
Yeah,
Gary
Ricky
has
Thornton Jr.
registered.
Yep, Gary Hall registered. So half of the Fly-On Hall brothers.
We still have more stock cars and modifieds.
We have 257 stock cars, 234 modifieds.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, 23 more stock cars.
People are like, when are we going to run the same format for stock cars?
I read
as
that.
we do for
I read that
modifieds?
yesterday.
Well, if you get more stock, we'll have to swap the formats at this rate. No, we won't do that. That was a joke.
You're
But
going to end up with
they'll run probably almost identical formats, like the 30 heat
you'll end up
form.
with 30 heats for each, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah, would be my guess. We'll probably run identical formats. The issue gets on Friday when we do last chance races on Saturday for mods. We've always did, if you're on the point sheet, well, actually, if you just have a modified and you're there, even if you came on Saturday, you'd still be in the LCQ, the last chance races.
Some don't stick around because they're so far down in points, but
Some
you
don't.
never know what you're going to end up with.
Yeah, like last year's, using an example, we had scheduled rain coming Friday night and Saturday morning. I think the rain was in the morning, or supposed to be scheduled in the morning of Saturday. We lost, I think it was 78 or 6 modifieds from Friday to Saturday that went home because of the weather. We had guys that were in the LCQs, the final 3 LCQs, that still went home because of the forecast. It was so bad. But it cleared up at like 3 o'clock, I think. I think I posted on the
Was this
private,
last year?
Yeah, I think I posted on the private Facebook page. If you go back and see my post, it was like 3 o'clock last year on Saturday, where I said the sun is out, and then we started racing. It takes usually about an hour.
I think it was like 4:30 or so we started racing.
When it quits racing there, we usually let the track sit for about an hour, and then we put equipment on it, and we can have it ready. And depending on how severe the weather is, we can have it ready within 30 minutes to maybe at the most
You know,
2 hours.
Well, and Rod had prepped for
race
you know
again.
that. I mean, he'd prepped.
They
for
planned
the,
for
he'd,
it.
he'd prepped for
Yeah.
the rain already.
Yeah.
So explain a little bit about the double down deal.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
we-
I've
double
had
down
some
prelude.
questions about that.
We talking stock cars and mods real quick. You know, we're gonna bump the. This is gonna happen in the stock car division, but it's happening in other divisions too. We're gonna bump the stock car purse money up. I talked about like 10,000 to win. I don't think we're gonna pay the same amount for stock cars as we do mods. I just don't think that we should. If car count was everything, that doesn't make sense. I mean, just because you have 200 sport compacts doesn't mean that they race for 10,000 to win.
It's progression of class, and
It's just not how, generally speaking, how we want to.
do it.
Well, yeah, it sets a precedence doing that.
Just had a text
modified
message
paid-
asking for a pre-entry list.
The
Shit, you're
mods,
not.
the mods paid 10,000 to win last year. We had 7,500 on the check, but it actually paid 10 grand to win. The stock cars last year paid 7,500 to win. This year the mods are still going to pay 10 grand to win. We're going to bump the stock car and the mod start money is $1,000 to start the feature. It's like $53,000 for the A main for
Come
modified.
on. So it's 10 grand to win.
$1,000 to start.
What's the entry fee?
I think it's like $40,
Okay.
something like
Just
that,
curious.
which is high for Super
always
Nationals. I think
nice.
that's our biggest entry fee.
It
man.
is.
Late models,
Everybody
Late
says it's
models,
always
50.
so
late
expensive.
models 50. All the purses in every division. Mod lights have not bumped up yet. This is only their third year.
Third year, yeah.
2-day show. They're on the prelude to the Labor Day weekend. So we'll see what we get for mod light turnout this
It's the
year.
Dylan Rafferty Invitational.
He's won both. We do have a mod light shirt for this year, and yeah, Rafferty's won. Obviously, both.
He's
of them.
undefeated.
It'd be nice to add a
And we
different,
did get the big
another
check
name. No offense to Dylan.
and had that on there, so we don't have to write that on.
Yeah,
Race
no,
night.
we're not going to do that. We're not going to jinx ourselves. Dylan would probably appreciate it, but no offense to him. You know, we'll see. We'll see how many mod lights we get, but their registrations were good. Anyhow, back to purses. 10,000 for mods, 1,000 to start the big dance A main on Saturday. Stock cars will pay 8,000 to win this year, not 7,500. They'll pay 8,000 to win, 500 to start the stock car A main on Saturday. The other divisions too as well. Sport mods 5,000 to win, 300 to start, and the hobby stocks are 3,000 to win, 300 to start. So those divisions have all been bumped up a little bit to start money, a little bit on the pick
And
the
the entry
winners
fees
to
have
stock car, but not
been
much.
bumped up.
Entry fees have not changed. I think 40 is our biggest entry fee, and I think some of the other classes are 25.
25 for stocks, sport mods, and hobby stocks.
Yeah, it's
And
just
mod lights.
it's just more than anything. I wouldn't even call it an entry fee. It's more like a registration fee, just
Registration
because it
fee.
takes a lot of time for us to get
Yeah.
everybody populated. in
Processing
RP.
fee.
But those fees haven't went up that I'm aware of since I started in IMCA in '97. So our entry fee for the Super Nationals is generally extremely low for what they're racing for. Our purse is on Saturday. I don't have the late models and the sport mods added to this, but our hobby stocks, sport mod, stock car, and modified purse is on Saturday night. Total 120,000. So it's a fair amount of
We
money.
got to be
In our opinion, it's a fair amount of money.
close to 400,000 total for the event.
Yeah, that doesn't include this. Obviously, it pays 300 to attempt to qualify in the modifieds.
So
And again,
total money.
150 was what the stock cars have paid in the past. I don't think we're going to play with that, but we may. We could, but we can't until it happens. Until stock cars have more, cars than modifieds. We'll keep some of this the same, but plenty of money to win, plenty of money to start the A mains. I think it's fair for all of our divisions.
Plenty of
Late
fun to be
models this
had.
year are 3,000 to win, 400 to start. Thanks to Friesen Chevrolet, they added $2,500 directly to the purse. And so instead of putting it 5,500 to win and everything staying the same, we just took that 2,500 and spread it back from 24th, which we start 24 cars in our late model feature, 24th through 2nd. So added $100 or $200 a position to bump that start pay up for late models. And what we had 30, 38 last year,
Something like
30s.
that.
So
What, did you explain the double down thing?
No,
we haven't got to
we
the
haven't got
prelude.
we're coming back to the prelude. We're
haven't
certainly
even got
we
to the
told
prelude.
that story to tell this story.
Yeah, and so then on the prelude, again, last year we had 632 cars at the prelude. We had 139 mods and about the same for stock cars and 118 or 20 so sport mods. So from a format standpoint, it makes more sense. Instead of last year we had 139 mods and we had a 24 car A main. So I don't know what that percentage is, 16%,
What were the numbers?
24 out of 139. 16% of the cars make the A
Roughly,
main.
yeah.
this year we're going to run this 30-car A mains for these divisions. But we're also going to double them if they have more than 100 cars. So we'll run, instead of having one 24-car A main for mods, if we had last year's car count of 139, we'll have two 30-car A mains for mods.
45%.
So 60 cars will go to features instead of 16%. Well, it's like 40-some%, if I remember correctly. So we're bumping that up. So the purses are the same. I think the mods pay $1,500 to win the Prelude. I've got it right here. Sorry, $1,500 to win the Prelude. Stock cars $1,000 to win. So we'll have $2,000 to win stock car races. $1,500 to win modified races. Sport mods pay $750 to win. So we'll have
And if you win those modified stock cars, you're eligible to qualify.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
'cause
it's
that's
just
what
more
the-
cars to features. What we think will end up happening is we'll race less. We'll trim some of those B mains out because we're transferring more cars to the A mains. It'll allow us to thin some of the other stuff out like we do on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of the Super Nationals for those stock cars and modified divisions to begin with. So, but heck, if we get over 100 hobby stocks, we'll race 2 hobby stock features. I got 2 trophies for everything. 2 trophies for the compacts, 2 trophies for the hobby stocks.
But you're only eligible to race in one of those features.
You're only eligible to race in one.
It's not like it's a double feature.
Right, yeah. We
it's
had a
not.
question on the page.
No.
Yeah, you only get to race in one of those features.
Right.
You don't get to race in
But based
both
on
trailers.
last year's numbers, the 3 divisions that I would anticipate having 2 feature format would be sport mods, stock cars, and modifieds.
Yep.
But if we get 100 hobby stocks that want to race the Prelude, we'll run 2 features, and same with sport compacts if it happens.
Well, we've already. I
It'd be
think
pretty unique to have 2 sport compact features on
that would be kind of
Yeah.
on Sunday and 1 on Tuesday.
We've already eclipsed the pre-registration record for hobby stocks. The past 139 was the record for pre-registration numbers. We're at 144 now.
Yeah, see, it's kind of showing signs of possibly playing out that way. So last year we wanted to do it, and I think we talked about it. Literally on Saturday afternoon, I was like, geez, let's run 2 features. Well, we didn't have 2 trophies. We didn't have 2 checks. We didn't anticipate 2 purses. So stuff like that. We've got all that kind of laid out in our plans now. So we'll see how many cars sign in that actually want to compete at the Prelude. And this is competing cars, not cars that want a hot lap only. So you have to take a green flag in a heat race.
Yeah.
Have to qualify.
To count for the 100, they have to legitimately sign up for the draw. And we also are doing the mulligan draw, too, for those divisions as well, which we did last year. So that'll add more money to the purses as well.
Yeah,
I think
'cause
it's
that money goes back in.
It was $10 for the mulligan, I think.
I won't be in registration for the Prelude this year.
Sarah asked me about that, and I said, yeah, we'll do the mulligan. So we'll do the mulligan draw. If you have a bad draw, you can obviously you can, before you draw, you can pay, I think it's $10 for the mulligan.
Yeah, before you get
And
your
get a
first
second
number.
chance. Yep, you draw a crap,
Now you don't
a crap
have
number.
to take the mulligan. You can.
But if
say-
you pay for it, do you have to take the mulligan?
no,
No.
The way it works, if you pay
Well,
your,
a lot
you
be
put your,
snippy. A lot
your
of people do
mulligan
it
money
differently.
down.
I didn't say
No,
they do.
no,
People do
no.
it
I just said no.
You put your money down, your mulligan, you buy your mulligan before you draw. So you've got,
Yeah,
got
because
your
you
mulligan
you
bought,
could put your mulligan money
and
down
you-
and draw the number 1.
and you draw 1. You're like, okay, I'm not using my mulligan. We don't give you your money back for the mulligan. You bought it.
So
just
you
don't
have
use
to
it.
you have to pay for it before you draw,
Yes.
but
Yes.
after you pay for it, you can pick either number.
No,
No, it's the second number.
it's the
That's
second
what
number.
I said.
if you
You're
take
stuck
it.
with if you're paid for it. You're stuck with the mulligan draw.
Yes. If you
That's
draw
what I
1,
asked
you
you.
don't
You said
have to
no,
use your
no,
mulligan, but you
no.
don't get your $10 back. The
God,
$10
you're a
bucks
dick.
goes into the purse. It doesn't go to our Maui
Right.
vacation home or
Jim's
office or whatever we call that. Spec Part 1 or whatever it is.
that's the jet.
The jet. It doesn't go to that. But if you draw 100 out of 100 numbers, and you have a mulligan bought, you can draw again.
But after you draw 100 and you haven't bought the mulligan, you're stuck with 100.
Yes.
Yeah. If you draw 99 and you've bought a mulligan and I'm going to use my mulligan, you draw again and you get 100, you get 100.
But I can't draw
You can't pick
99
99.
and then say, I
decide.
want to buy the mulligan now.
Right. You
So
can't buy the
essentially,
mulligan
if
after
you
a bad draw.
if you hand them the money for the mulligan draw, you are getting the second
It's a-
number they draw for you. You don't get. I mean, if you're essentially paying for the second number.
If you
Right.
want that second
the chance
number.
to get the second number. If you draw 1, you don't have to draw again.
Or if you
get
draw
Even
two.
but you pay the money, then you don't have to take it. But you can't get your money back.
Correct. The money goes into the purse. It goes back to the racers.
Clear as mud.
Yeah.
So it's a
And
little
all we
bit.
have
It's a
is
gamble.
all we have is time and
It's a
registration.
gamble. Hell, it's
so.
the Prelude. It's sponsored by Wild Rose Casino.
Yeah, it's
For
gambling.
crying out loud.
It's
It's a
gambling.
double down Prelude.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. we can all gamble legally.
Gamble.
Is it legal?
Yeah, it's legal.
Legal.
Oh,
And it's technically not gambling.
tell
It's
Kim
just-
Reynolds if it's not.
There's a lot of other illegal shit that goes on, but that
Yeah, we'll
part
talk
of it
about
is-
that in the next podcast. Are we doing a podcast next week?
No. No.
Wow.
I think
No.
we'll do a final Super
No.
Nationals podcast.
Can we record it today and
Yeah,
then we'll
can
just
we-
play
yeah,
it
can
next
we-
week? I mean,
Can we change clothes real quick? And
This
then,
I'll just wear the
podcast-
same. I haven't changed clothes in 4 days. Why would I want to change
This
now?
podcast covered the RaceSaver Nationals. Everybody got to meet French in person. Roger.
And, you know,
talked to
I
RaceSavers,
gotta
and we talked a little bit about Super
I gotta
Nationals.
compliment Brett on one thing when I rolled in here. That grass looks good out there,
What grass?
out the yard out here.
It does.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Looks good out there.
I haven't even watered it.
Whatever you've done, it looks good.
Looks good. Looks really good.
IMCA lawn care, though. Aren't you guys funny? as
Jeez,
shit?
I thought we were done. Here comes another 47-minute
actually-
podcast.
Took the time to get a shirt made.
Well, we knew, you wanted to diversify your
IMCA lawn
businesses.
care. The grass is always greener on our side.
We knew you wanted to diversify your businesses. You've talked about that a little bit, and we just wanted to help to give you that little push as just something that you truly
see him
love.
Pushing a mower.
We've
when he-
talked
cuts
about
grass.
this outside the podcast as well. I read a story.
fine.
Did I talk about this last podcast?
Read a
about
story
Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh. Did I tell you this? I read a story, an interview Jim Harbaugh did, and they asked him what if he wasn't a coach, what'd he do, and he said lawn care.
Right.
He likes to mow his yard.
got
That's
some
like
time on his hands
that's
right
like
now.
his free time when he wants to clear his mind.
He
He goes and mows his yard, and I'm the same way. And y'all give me shit about it all the time, don't you?
Well,
Oh, just a little bit.
But I'm getting
Nate,
good
did
at.
you
I'm
put it
getting
up on
good
the
at lawn
screen?
care.
Oh, I'm
He did.
pretty.
He put the
I'm
logo
pretty.
on.
I'm pretty anal about my yard too. I mean,
I'm
it's
getting pretty
gotta
good.
be
Especially now, it's been-
striped, edged.
it looks like shit. It
Mine
hadn't
does
rained enough
too,
here.
Yeah.
But I water my grass the cheap way every day.
We got you a few of them. So
guys
you
get these
you
made
got
on
some extras.
Amazon or something.
No, I took the
Can
time.
we sell these at the vending trailer?
You could. The Mark has the design. If you want to sell them, you can sell away.
It's the best.
it's
I'm gonna wear that sucker
Yeah, they're there for you.
next podcast.
There you go.
the other, the other thing is we get into the Super Nationals and summer wears down. I know a lot of people will be having their last hurrah for the summer, but I just gotta caution everybody that you just don't want to go out there and do stupid shit in the summer. So,
You ain't showing that video, are you?
what video?
No, don't do. Oh Jesus! Oh God!
Was that you?
I didn't realize this happened. We just talked about it last night.
Where was this at? That was perfect.
Okay.
How did that feel?
So this is
when that
me
felt-
on vacation. Whammo!
Well, here's the thing.
How did that feel? Let me tell you how that felt. It didn't hurt at all because I don't remember shit. I just remember the lifeguard
Pamela Anderson.
waking me up. I wish.
No, it was David Hasselhoff over top of him.
I get this. I go down the Royal. They call that the Royal Flush. It's at
What's good keeping
Waco Surf Park. We went
Oh,
down there
okay,
for
yeah, yeah.
vacation, and my wife's like, "You want to go down that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go down it." Went down it once. I'm like, "Oh, that wasn't that bad." So then I got the bright idea that I was gonna flip.
Yeah, let's see that again.
Yeah.
That I was gonna flip.
Can
the
you
second
slow it
time.
Was that a
down?
belly flop?
Here, I'll
was
give you the
that-
It ends up
play-by-play.
in a belly flop.
There it is. Bam!
Oh.
That big splash was made by my face.
There had to be some chafing there, didn't there? I mean, just,
I couldn't chew.
What? See, no.
Right here, I thought, flip.
Shit.
And then I'm like, uh-oh. Smash-ola.
Is that kind of where you play that whack?
The video stops right here because I lay face down in the water while the lifeguards swim out and save my life. My wife and daughter are crying.
thinking you died.
I mean, were you
or-
knocked out at this situation?
Here I go. Oops, over rotation. Smash-ola.
So
I
that-
couldn't chew food the next day. My mouth hurt so bad.
So, I mean, did it knock your ass out or what?
It knocked me out cold.
You was out-
My
so
wife
you were
said
like-
I was out for like 45 seconds.
No way.
That's just
Did
she
you have
said.
on a life vest?
I don't remember much. I woke up and they're like, "Who? You know who you are?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Where you at?" And she goes, "What's your name?" I said, "Brett." "Where you at?" And I said, "I'm at Waco Surf Park."
You're good. Get back on.
She goes, Do you know how you got here?" And I'm like,
Drove?
"Yeah." She goes, "Did you drive?" And I'm like, "Yeah." My wife's like, "He didn't drive. We need to get an ambulance out here and take him to the hospital. You didn't drive, Brett." was some drama. Oh, well. I'm sure there's some few people that watch that video and they're going to, I wish they wouldn't.
One more time.
One more
They
time.
just left him in the water. It's amazing how easily you can knock yourself out cold.
Is this the
Bam,
part where
right there.
you...
I'm going to think maybe you passed out midair. You just
Is this
hit
where
the-
you F around and find out? I mean, is that the scale that happens right about
I'm like,
here?
hi, Mom.
You're lucky you didn't
I was
land on
waving here. I'm
somebody.
like, oh, this isn't going to hurt. So I tighten up and smash shoulder.
Ooh, I like how your arms are straight out like you
Like
think
it's
you're
gonna-
going to
it's gonna
stop
brace.
yourself.
It's going to brace the blow.
Spatial
If I
orientation.
put my arms out, it won't hurt as bad.
So were other people doing that with a little better
Oh,
execution?
yeah.
or-
That's why I got the idea. That's what my wife said. You ain't 25, you idiot. And I'm like,
You ain't
I'm
got a hair
twice
on your ass
25.
if you flip over. Yeah,
there were guys that made that look so easy. I'm like, that just looks.
They were probably
I can
17.
do that. I'm
You
like, I
are
can
no
do
Greg
that.
Louganis.
No, I'm not. I can do that. No problem. No, didn't work out
How'd
that
that work
well.
out?
It didn't hurt till the next day.
It didn't hurt. It didn't
I
hurt
was
till I woke
unconscious.
up.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything I did that night either. She goes, I think you have a concussion.
Well, at least you're
Probably.
feeling better now, so you don't get behind in your lawn care business.
Yeah. Just turned into lawn care and Brett knocking himself out. Hopefully people don't listen to the last part of this podcast.
You know what I say? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
I won a stupid prize that day. Oh, well.
But you have a lasting memory that they can't take away from you.
You have 45 seconds of your life you don't remember.
I've already told my wife I want to go back and redeem myself.
Oh, just make sure she's got the camera rolling.
No shit.
Yeah, so next time just
What
don't-
if we were to make that happen off the high rise at Super Nationals? Make one of those and then see if you could redeem yourself there. We set it up.
maybe Super Nationals, we could build one of those at the Super Nationals. Can you imagine the fun we'd have?
Oh, God.
We'd have to quit the races early.
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, you did.
Again.
Can you just post like 4 ambulances up here? Brett had this stupid idea.
Lake Boone and a big slide.
Boone Lake's
yeah.
pretty dry right now, though. I was there yesterday, and
Are they going to
there's-
fill it up?
I don't know.
Well, good times.
Boone Lake
I ain't scared.
fishing for a mar.
I may not be the smartest guy in the room, but I ain't scared.
That's probably why you're not scared, because you're not the smartest guy in the room.
Whatever.
I mean, I would have done that same ride, but I wouldn't have tried the flip.
1, 2, 3, flip.
I mean, because I've tried to do that at home off the diving board, and I've landed just like that before, and it hurts.
Yeah.
It's one way to empty your pool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. Good times. Hey.
You are practicing for a week long, aren't you?
So when will our next podcast be?
Next week sometime, probably. We'll probably do one more for Super Nationals. If Jerry is on time, he can be involved. If not, well. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's
Nate
right.
Yeah.
won't be here.
I believe probably our next one's going to be Monday of Super Nationals.
It'll be at Super Nationals. I'm sorry. Yeah. We'll do one at Super Nationals because Nate's going to be over there like we did last year.
Yep.
Yep.
12-1.
That'd be okay.
Is it
RaceSaver
12-1?
Nationals
11 to
starts
12?
next week.
Absolutely.
Prelude to Super Nationals next week. A lot of season championships and stuff. People
Yep.
wrapping
A
up their
lot of
seasons.
champions have already, Boone had theirs. We had ours at Marshalltown.
Boone had theirs. You
last
had
week,
yours. I
so-
think Independence had theirs here locally. I'm just thinking the local.
Vinton was supposed
'cause I
to,
see
but
it.
they then is now this Sunday.
Yeah, theirs is this Sunday.
The Heat got them.
Yep. But it's that time of year. A lot of championships being determined. Race of Champions eligibility for the Super Nationals
Right.
will go through this weekend. So on Monday.
Okay, can you explain how that works? Because it's been in the group chat, in the group thing
on Monday,
that you.
when we get all the race results from this last weekend,
Yeah.
we will populate our Race of Champions and its current track champions.
But what if
Or
my
point
track
leaders.
champion doesn't go and I ran second?
No.
We just make a list now. We just have a list because
have
with
to be,
MRP,
a
having all
champion
these
or-
provisionals going from second to third or third to fourth, it just grows legs, and we can't produce a master list. So we now just say,
Much more efficient, Jerry.
yes, here's
Well,
the
and
list
it's
of the
kinda
guys that
like
are
I've
eligible.
said, if you're going to be in the race of champions,
And the questions that
It
I
should be a
get,
champions,
right? And the question that I get, well, if a guy wins 2 championships, who's going to represent this track? It's not about representing specific racetracks; it's about representing the champions.
It
So
kind
if
of
you've done-
migrated to who's going to represent this racetrack
Right.
because we had situations where like national champions who are automatically
Right.
eligible, they're leading the track points at 3 tracks.
Yeah.
So it wipes out 3 opportunities for other people to be in their ROCs. So we went to seconds in those situations, but that migrated to thirds, and then people wanting fourths, and then it's no longer a race of
I
champions.
raced there one time. Can I
It's
get
the
in?
race of tracks. And so we figured we'd go back to a list. We did that last year, and
This
it
will be
seemed
the
to work.
third. Well, ever since we've used MRP, I think we've done it that way.
Yeah.
It works pretty slick.
It does. We'll have a master list, and you just walk up, and when you sign in, they know you're on the list, and you confirm it. And
So
boom,
you have
in
to
the
this
ROC
weekend
races.
to win a track championship
Or to lead the points.
or lead the points. Or if you win $1,000
That's all-star
modified
stuff.
race,
That's for
all-star stuff,
All-Star, yeah.
and a
750 for
750
stock
stock
cars.
car, you'll be eligible for the all-star race.
And we'll add those. We add the all-star guys right through the following weekend.
Prelude.
Right, yeah, for the
Yeah.
prelude.
That's
can
a
race
little
like
different
Friday,
than
Saturday.
that's a little different than points, because we do have racetracks that are running Labor Day weekend, their season championships, or racing in general, still their weekly schedule. We don't use Labor Day weekend as any bearing on the ROCs. We go the week before, the weekend before, because we can actually produce a list instead of trying to produce a list.
Yeah, we're in Boone for Super Nationals that following week.
Right.
We're not here
We're not even
compiling
here to
points
do
and
points.
results. And
Yeah, so that's why we do it that way. So it skips Labor Day weekend. It doesn't include that. That always seems to pop up too, because track championships can literally change
But I
the
can
last
win
night.
a 750 or 1,000 race on Friday before the Saturday.
That's a little
prelude.
easier for us to
Right.
verify.
Yep. Because you can see that.
Yeah, we're not verifying points and making
event
points
results,
official.
yeah.
Yeah,
I just send it in.
what did
This
it pay
person.
and who won it? Yep, we'll count it.
Do we
don't
have a
to worry about it.
pre-entry list for the Super Nationals, Ryan?
Yeah, like
yeah, I've got it right here on my computer, Jim.
Okay. Just curious how that works.
Could
do you want to read them all?
Yeah, I'll read them all. Story time with Ryan.
Start reverse alphabetical. No, I'm just kidding.
I
Kind of
can
like,
start with Abelson.
We
kinda
will.
like Romper Room.
We will release
all
that.
it's
We
about.
do that like a week from today, a week from
I
tomorrow.
think it's Friday.
When does registration close?
It
really
really doesn't
doesn't.
close.
But when does
Saturday of the Super
We don't
Nationals.
charge more if
Advance.
it, actually I think we do. No, I don't think we do. I think we.
Well, it
charge
always
the
used to
same
be
amount.
kind of, it was never at charge more, but to get, so you knew who was, it was always,
If you want to be on the pre-entry list, I would encourage you to pre-enter by next Thursday night, because I'm going to post the list on Friday, and if you register Friday of next week, you're welcome to do so, but your name is not going to get on a published list. There's just too much going on.
And don't
There's
expect a boon bound on if you register on Thursday of next
Right.
week, a boon bound to pop up on Friday.
You mean Byron's busy?
Byron's a little busy.
he's probably going to be swimming across the border.
Is that how he gets there?
across. Yeah, he doesn't
Swims.
like to go through customs. He just swims through. They pick him up on the.
I saw a
United
boom
States
bound the other day of a car that wasn't even legal, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I like looking at the comments.
Well,
I'm
Byron
like,
will post
oh,
whatever you send him, I think.
When can you run inner mud plugs on stock cars? And I'm like, oh, God.
Why is that guy got a left front mud plug on his modified?
I'm like, oh gosh. Byron don't know the rules, and Byron
No,
doesn't.
Byron just says, "Send me a picture and I make it."
All he
Yeah.
gets to
So
confirm
people-
is whether they're entered or not, and then you can. Well,
There was one where the kid was upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin Bozick. He sent his in upside
I
down.
thought that was perfect. I
Yeah.
mean, that shit's cool. And there was one where it was a guy in Victory Lane,
Right. Oh, Brandon Bombardo with
Bombardo with
With
a
his-
unicorn thing on or whatever he had on. But yeah,
I really
mean, those
thought
are-
that Bobby Hill
those
was
are
going to
fun.
send him Bubba Hill.
Those are fun.
When
Shows
he
the
registered,
personality.
the first thing I thought was, "Damn it, Bobby!
Damn it, Bobby!
Damn it, Bobby!"
Like the propane and propane accessories.
Well, we have probably put everybody to sleep if they're actually.
It's only been
starting to
about an
listen
hour
to
and a
this.
half. Hour
That's a
20
long
minutes.
time. You talk a lot.
Me?
Yeah,
Me?
yeah.
Oh, I thought we were in driver's meeting being conducted by you. No.
Oh, those
think we
are
covered
coming
everyone we
up.
needed to cover, didn't
those
we?
Are, those are
Which
those-
Monday's
have-
drivers meeting will start tomorrow.
Right. Oh,
Super
why,
Dave's
is Dave going to
Travels
be
and
there?
Brett's drivers
Dave going to
meetings.
be there to get the microphone set up?
Pit stalls, reserved pit stars are sold out. We do have people that cancel every other day.
But we
got a
do have
cancellation.
room for you.
We do make lists.
we'll always make room for
We
you.
do make lists for reserved ones, and put you, on,
light
you can get your name on a list if you reach out to Belinda. Likelihood of getting one is pretty low, though, at this point in time. But we have plenty of pit stalls. Again, we had 1,000 cars last year, and everybody had a place to park.
Right.
So this year will be no different. We will get you in. If you do not have a pit stall reserved, you can still show up the day of the Super Nationals that you want to race.
We will park
Tuesday with a compact. We'll get you a place to put your compact, and we'll get you on the lineup.
And if you forgot to register, you can still show up the day of and
register
we'll let you
right there
race.
at that time.
Don't cut it off.
Right. There's no cutoff. But it's the prelude. You have to be pre-registered.
Yeah, but
for
I mean,
the
if you were going to
Super
race the
Nationals to race
modified or stock car, and you
There's
were like last minute going, I think I'm going to go, and then Wednesday morning you wake up and like, whoosh, let's go.
And there's no entry fee at the prelude.
Right.
You just have to be entered for the
Super
Super Nationals. So essentially, your modified Super Nationals entry fee gets you the prelude as well for free.
Right. And if you do plan on going, if you know you're going to go, even if it's Saturday morning, please pre-register, or please register when you know. If you avoid doing it in line, it'll really speed up the process, because I know prelude registration and sign-in lines are among the worst of the week. It's the slowest process, I think, about sign-in for the week.
And if you're a fan and you can come any day and watch, if you can't come, obviously we've announced the IMCA TV, the video packages available. There's a lot of different ways you can buy that. The whole shebang if you want it.
Which includes the prelude.
The William Hung shebang. Oh, I love that. I want that video up. Put that up instead of me smashing my face against water.
That was
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got the whole shebang posted.
I like that.
Discounts on the video package if you're a replay IMCA TV replay subscriber. You get one IMCA replay month subscription for free if you buy the package.
And how many lawn mowings come in with that?
I am not mowing anybody's yard.
I just need aeration.
Lawn mowing
aeration and overseeding
are not included.
You offer that service
with the video package. But I will give these shirts out at Super National if anybody wants one. They're pretty unique. We got a dozen of them or so.
I thought you were going to keep them for yourself.
I'll keep one for me.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I should probably keep two because I'll probably ruin one mowing.
And a souvenir.
What do you think I'm going to wear when I mow? I'm going to wear this shirt every time.
Yeah, it beats the last shirt we had made for you.
Wasn't that the trailer or the hitch? Or was that a different one?
I'm glad I can be the butt of your jokes.
Is that when he drove? Wasn't that from driving the new vehicle?
No, that was when he.
This is the Christmas party.
You storm, I steal him.
You storm, I steal him.
I forgot about that. That's right.
Is off the
oh my God, we need to tell that story again sometime. That was. I thought I was going to get.
I think there's a picture of that somewhere.
I thought I was going to be unalived that day, and that was like my first month of working there.
So we'll wrap it up.
Storage units.
Statute of limitation is probably
kinda.
up, so we're good. Well, next podcast.
So we'll see you in Boone then, right?
Yeah, next podcast is at the Super Nationals.
We'll be in the fan zone.
At the Super Nationals.
On the catwalk.
We'll have some special guests. We'll get some racers involved in that. That'll be fun.
On the catwalk.
And Wade will be there with us.
Yeah, Wade will be there.
On the catwalk.
Mm-hmm. No, he'll be in the Outback.
Steakhouse?
Nope. Oh, he gets a couch this year.
Nice. All right. Again, I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank French and Roger for their early visitation of our podcast.
We apologize for
talk about RaceSaver
Jerry
Sprint Cars,
here.
RaceSaver Nationals, IMCA Super Nationals, and everything else. Till next week, we're going to sign off.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good day.
Go get a replay pass.
That includes you, Jerry.
Me? I get to have a good day?
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Hey, remember, if you can't find an IMCA race local, or you don't want to go out to it, always buy it. IMCA TV. Well, I mean, see,
Here we
it's
go.
too hot. You can stay home.
Another
I
5
thought
minutes.
Brett already closed the show.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Dirty Dozen's gone.
Thank you.